I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, professionals, visionaries, change makers, and leaders of thought. I welcome you to the room where Africa is not waiting to be led. We are here to lead. We're here rewriting the way business grow, scale, and expand, not by chance, but by international relationship strategy, service, and measure of success. Today, we're going to be hosting a very detailed and a very successful event where we will be discussing customer services throughout different businesses across the world for us to all just grasp an understanding of how customer success can be excelled, expanded, and evaluated. So I'll call upon our first speaker, who is the head of this project, Mr. Rodney Teat, and I'm very happy to have him here.
Well, number one, very glad to be here. When we talk about CustomerSuccessU platform, our vision was bold but very simple. It was really to create a platform that impacted the lives and careers of millions of individuals through career-ready courses and certifications. Our mission was to, and still is, to provide a platform where every individual, regardless of their background, location, level of income, can access world-class training in customer service, customer support, and customer success. People have always been our mission, our driving factor. And partnering with incredible organizations like the ASteven Energy Institute has provided us this ability to really focus on growing and expanding what we are doing and making that impact. And it is truly why we do what we do. So a little bit about what we've built in Customer Success U. In a little over 1 year since our launch, the Customer Success U platform has attracted hundreds of thousands of individuals, and tens of thousands of individuals have completed their certifications. The Customer Success U platform was built by leading industry experts. These individuals have run some of the most successful customer service and customer success platforms globally within some amazingly large organizations. And our goal was and is to deliver content to individuals that was straightforward, it was impactful, and it could be immediately used by people and organizations. So unlike traditional platforms, we're not just offering training, we're not just offering certifications, we're building a vibrant community that is centered on empowering people and organizations. Africa to us represents an underserved yet incredibly intelligent population full of untapped potential and talent. And our partnership with the ASteven Energy Institute is going to allow us to reach hundreds of thousands of individuals all across Africa. It is very, very exciting to us. Again, our focus is not profit, it's impact. And Africa represents to us the biggest area of impact that is out there to truly reach the lives and careers of so many individuals. Businesses that focus truly and heavily on the customer experience, great customer outcomes, customer service, customer success, grow at 2 to 3 times faster than the industry average. 2 to 3 times faster. Consumers will spend 20% more with companies that deliver excellent customer service. Customer success and customer service departments can increase net recurring revenue and retention by 20 to 30% and increase new sales by 30% through upselling and cross-selling. A couple more quick facts here. Loyal customers are 5 times more likely to repurchase, 4 times more likely to refer new customers to your organization, and 7 times more likely to purchase new offerings that you're presenting. And the last point here as well, word of mouth marketing from satisfied customers drives 2 times the sales of paid advertising. So, in other words, free advertising from happy customers drives 2 times the amount of revenue as advertising that you're paying for. So is customer service and customer success, is it important? It's critically important to your organization. Now, the flip side, how is customer success you designed to benefit individuals? From an individual standpoint, from a person standpoint, individuals who have certifications earn in their lifetimes earn up to 30% more and are 70% more likely to be hired than individuals without certifications. Certified professionals also report a 26% higher job satisfaction, and 60% of professionals who advanced into leadership positions credit certifications as a key factor in their promotion. Our platform is designed all around courses and certifications, focusing on customer service and customer success. Again, designed to really impact the businesses that these individuals work for and also these individuals themselves. What we're focused on with the launch with the ASteven group is the Certified Customer Service Associate certification. It includes 5 powerful courses and certifications. Each course is around 90 minutes in length and can be accessed on a phone, a tablet, a PC, anywhere, anytime. That is the primary goal for us, is to make it accessible and impactful and useful. It covers around 20 different subject areas. A couple of the topics are handling customer complaints and escalations, building long-term relationships and customer trust, conflict resolution with empathy, using feedback to improve business outcomes, managing response times and availability, delivering first contact resolution, and coaching teams, setting KPIs, and aligning customer service with business goals and outcomes. We really would like to thank Dr. Sunny for his incredible leadership in bringing this partnership together. It is a distinct honor to partner with the ASteven Energy Institute, every individual that we work with on a daily basis, to bring such a big impact across all of Africa. Whether you're a business owner looking to increase profitability or an individual looking to advance your own career, CustomerSuccessU was built to be a platform that focuses on your growth and your success. We invite you to join us, and we thank you for allowing us to come today and share our story with you.
I would like to thank you so much, Mr. Rodney, for your detailed explanation and even just the fact of creating this amazing opportunity, because it's not just a course, it's actually a bridge that you're creating and a space for businesses and an opportunity for people in Africa to develop their startups, their businesses, and etc. And I think what you've been doing is incredibly impressive and amazing. And this opportunity that we have bestowed it through your act of kindness is something that we can't thank you enough. I also want to thank Mr. Dr. Sunny for also creating this partnership that has allowed us to have the opportunity to all of our listeners here today to have a greater understanding of how we could do customer service in a better light and a way that would allow sustainability in all of our businesses and give us a better understanding of how we can have customer retention and have that long lasting. On that note, I would like to bring on Dr. Sunny himself. I would describe him later on. He's an amazing person that is also a founder and chairman of the ASteven Group of companies, which does several things, including a renewable energy association in Nigeria. And he's done businesses out of Nigeria and different international companies across. I would like to welcome him to this amazing event right now, for him to have the chance to speak also and give us his side of enlightenment of this particular topic.
My staff prepared me a wonderful lengthy speech, but I want to put it aside to talk about passion. When I was young, I was thinking my old dream was to be an entrepreneur. being an entrepreneur was to work hard, was to take leadership, was to make sure every ideology I passed forward. But when I spend my younger life in Europe, I understand that there is what we call courtesy and customer service. The way the people talk to you, even if you don't want what you want to buy, but the way they talk to you, the way they explain to you, became a norm in my growing up. And it helped me also to develop the business in Africa. Today, I'm the president, ASteven Group of Company, and I'm also the president of the Council for Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. And currently now, I'm the founding chairman of CustomerSuccessU African region. But there is a gap. And the gap permits me to say, when I came across Rodney through a very wonderful staff of mine, Miss P. Soguche, talking about customer success, the first thing that came to my mind, what is customer success? In fact, she was saying it too much grammar. I said, you know what, calm down, let me understand it. She said, okay, I will send it to you. I read it just in 5 minutes. I stopped. I said, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. In my company, where I have over 100 staffs in Nigeria, and we have trained in my institute over 3,000 youths. And we have done solar installation because we are into solar system, energy storage, and energy efficiency in building cycle. I called my staff. I said, now I know the problem. Every day, they are looking for new clients. Every time, they are looking for new clients. The expenses in maintaining vehicles in all the locations where we have offices is amazingly growing higher, and the cost of fueling those vehicles is becoming so expensive for the fact that our energy system was regulated. And I said, you know what? Why must we look for new clients all the time? They were looking at me. I said, no, if we attend to this client very well, we shouldn't be looking for new clients all the time. So there is a gap, there is a problem. I said, I found solution to it, customer success. I'm going to make sure that 70% of my staff, back end and front end, undergo this course. In thinking about that, I understand again, my friend called me. He said, you know what? He just lost some clients. Could I imagine? I said, what happened? He said, the secretary was answering him on phone and at the same time talking to someone else. And this client felt not important and dropped the phone. And believe me, this is a contract in millions he has lost. I said, oh, seriously? So let me recall, I'm not the only one that have this problem. I have people who have this problem also. And I sat down again as the president of the Council for Renewable Energy of Nigeria. That means my colleagues who are entrepreneurs, they have the same problem. And I called Rodney. Rodney, how can you help us to develop a special course? Customer success, customer service, and customer retainership. He told me, oh, that's nice. I'll work on it because I've gone through what you are doing. Two of us have the same shared vision and passion. It took them some time, set up some good teams together from South Africa, from Barbados, and all over America, the UK, Germany, and they came up with a robust curriculum that covers where our problem lies. And today, it is here with us. It's not enough for me to train students how to design solar system, how to procure solar system, how to install solar system, how to maintain solar system. They should also understand how can they maintain their clients? How can they retain customers? How can they grow their revenue? And I said, you know what? This is the missing link. Because there was a missing link. Because every youth you train, he should be able to grow his business. He should be able to maintain his clients. So that gap was bridged after this curriculum was designed. And I'm happy here to say, without reading from a script, that I'm super excited because a lot of us here, we're entrepreneurs. Even those that are not entrepreneurs, they want to grow themselves, they want to grow their business, even relationships. Relationships, networking is your net value. So you need the networking to grow your business. So customer success and customer retainership is one of the biggest problems why we are looking for clients all the time. Why would I train over 3,000 staffs, and every time we put in new date for training, we are looking for new students? We're supposed to have referral. And even with that, we offer referral bonus. There was a time I offered 50% referral bonus to the students who could refer their friends, colleagues on every good thing, every good experience, every good takeaway they are going with. And I'm going to charge them 50% of the total cost fee. They yield, they're so happy, they're excited. Trust me, within that time that I did this presentation to the students, we doubled our intake. And I know that, okay, I shouldn't be the only one who understands the growth and the importance of customer success. And I'm happy to say I have connected all the sectors that I am in Africa. I was in the East Africa. In East Africa, I was in Rwanda, I was in Tanzania, I was in Burundi, I was in Malawi. I couldn't go to Congo, but within my cycle of the energy sector, especially the renewable energy sector, I have 6 countries that are signing in on customer success. 6 African countries, because they all face the same problem we are facing. Some of the presidents who had a meeting last week, they said they continue receiving calls from customers of the association members that after installation, when they call them for services, they don't pick. And they are so angry that why would they do installation for somebody who have little or no idea on renewable energy, how to troubleshoot it, and they call the company that did the installation, they're not picking. Even when they pick, they ask, yes, and so what? The moment I explain, they say, oh, that is the right direction. That is the missing link. They all key into it. So I'm happy today to have entrepreneurs here, to also have self-employed, to also have those who are working, who want to increase their value in their place of work. This is the right position. And I will also say, because we work in partnership, there is what we call shared prosperity. We also give targeted discounts to partners who will come up with groups. And the good news about it is that when Rodney said it's a non-profit venture, I believed him. It's quite simple. When you log in for the course, you don't need to pay for the first foundation course, but still you will get certificate. And if that certificate will help you further, okay, you can stop there. You don't need to pay. But if you want to move further because you want to advance and have more knowledge, that is where you need to log in and pay. And I also negotiated for African country. I said, Mr. Rodney, we're talking about African country. We can't pay the same fee they pay in America and European country. With about 160 something. The good thing he told me is that, Dr. Sonny, you know what? Negotiate for Africa, I'm good. If you want to do it any amount you want to do it that is fair, I'm good with it. Mr. Rodney, you're a wonderful man. I will say thank you for that interest. When you say it's about passion, and it's correct. Every step you took in developing customer success certification for Africa was born out of passion, not out of what you want to make. For giving us a discount, especially for Africa. Thank you. Yesterday, before I left the Rwanda, My friend went to it's like MTN, have a problem with his SIM, with his eSIM, and he went there to make a complaint how they can help him. The lady sitting in the front desk was chewing gum. Chewing gum and have the phone in the hand. You know, immediately I said, it's a problem. The guy that set up this company wants to make profit. He wants to pay tax. He wants to make sure he pays his salary at the right time. Excuse me. But with this character, we're about to walk out. And I told my friend, no, we can't walk out. The owner of this business had suffered to put this wonderful edifice together, very clean. Everything was looking smart in that premises. Let us request for the manager. And I personally request that we want to speak to your manager. That was when she started jittering. Oh, so what? I said, no, we are clients. Without the client, you are not sitting here. There is a problem. You are not the problem. She said, really? I said, yes, you are not the problem. The problem is that if you don't teach them, don't blame them. Let me talk to the manager. The manager came and I explained. Manager said, oh, sorry. I said, no, that I'm going to query. And you don't need to query her. Have you given her opportunity to learn? He was looking at me. I said, I have a good story for you. Customer success is represented now in Rwanda. We'll give you a special discount for your staffs. They need to understand what is customer service, what is customer, how to make customer successful, what is customer retainership, how do you grow your business, customer business growth. He now said, wow, please, maybe the manager or the owner of the business might even part of this webinar, I don't know. Because he said that to send the link, he's going to send it to the chairman, that the chairman need to hear this. Why am I speaking so long? Why am I taking this time to talk? I said, I'm going to talk to out of passion. I have the same problems. I can train over 3,000 youths. And every time we're looking for new students. I can do installation for over 2,000 homes, businesses. And every time I'm looking for new customer and thereby increasing my overhead. Because the moment the staffs are driving out, I need to fuel the car, we need to maintain the vehicles, and we have offices across Africa and also in 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Imagine the overhead, the loss that the company is incurring for the fact that we never took the right step. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take the right step, not only to grow our businesses, but to reduce our overcosts by applying a simple online course that is highly subsidized. And we are also looking for partners all over Africa. And there are good percentage of bonuses for partnership. In other words, this is a residual income. Something you do once, and you keep on earning money day after day. Ladies and gentlemen, I can keep on talking and talking and talking out of passion. But the good news is that our next speaker will tell us the experience, how long she has been in the customer success industry, and how passionable the industry could be when you are involved. A last simple story. My staff, I promoted her as a senior management staff. I was thinking she would be so happy to say, oh, in the meeting she'll be so happy. But what she said is that my name was not attached to customer success. No matter what you promote me, you must put customer success manager as part of my signature. That was when I said, wow, this customer success must be how. You are promoted as a group head and you want me to still attach customer success. Mr. Rodney, you've done a great job. I must say, the passion of being part of customer success and just being appointed as the founding chairman in Africa region, I am willing to spread the news to every of my friends because we have the same problems. Thank you. Mr. Rodney, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. I'm really available after this webinar. Privately, will be launching the customer success by next week in 5 African countries. Possible. I have the mind of 10 African countries. I think it's possible because we are all lacking in this aspect of looking for clients all the time. I have the problem, and when I see a solution about it, I know every one of you also see it that way. Thank you for allowing me to speak. When the time permits me for any question, I'm still here. Thank you, Madam Moderator. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, we actually thank you for your passion, and we can all feel it today, to be very honest, because we can feel the importance of customer service and what is needed in not just countries, just in general. It takes a lot of strength and passion for one to start up a business, and then sustaining the business is a completely different story in itself. But it requires customers, no matter what your business is, in order for there to be sustainability and expansion. And we can all feel that as a business owners or entrepreneurs or ones that are starting up or ones that are even established. Whether you're Elon Musk or only starting tomorrow or yesterday, or it's just a thought, customer service is critical in expansion. It's critical in longevity in your business. It's critical. So hearing your passion, we would excuse you for speaking so long. In fact, we will thank you, Dr. Sonny, for taking your time to speak out of passion. And I'm sure all of us can relate. I want to thank Sir Rodney again for even just creating this opportunity. And to be honest, the fact that it's even not profit run, but rather development and passion run from Mr. Rodney is a fantastic initiative, and is an honor for us to even have the opportunity to have somebody that has an extreme passion to get involved, especially in the continent of Africa, and really see our pains and cries as entrepreneurs and business owners, where we know that we're lacking in a department that we can be doing so well at, and expanding and excelling across varieties of continents. So I want to thank Mr. Rodney again, and I want to thank you, Dr. Sonny, for expressing your passion. And not going by script, because I think sometimes we just need to hear the raw cries of the issues that we could easily fix. And I think that this course could open doors for many, many, many companies, and I'm excited to be involved. I would like to introduce, without taking too much time, because I'm conscious of the time, Miss Emma. It's our next speaker, a world-renowned leader in customer success. Emma is a customer success consultant, coach, and mentor, and a former global vice president of customer success and supporter. She's known for building and scaling elite customer engagement teams across SAS and tech ecosystems. Her expertise spans strategic engagement, value delivery, and custom. I just can't wait to introduce Emma, to be very honest. And I'm so excited to hear what she has to say and teach us and give us an enlightenment of her experience. So Emma, I would love to hear from you right now, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sandy, and thank you, Dr. Sonny, for having me here today, and thank you, Rodney, for inviting me along also. It's an absolute honour to be here and to share my knowledge and insights with you on everything I know about customer support and customer success, which is a lot. So I'm going to get started as quickly as possible because I am conscious of time, and I actually do have quite a few things that I want to share with you today. So I'm just going to share my screen. Just give me one moment. Oh, I need permission to do that. Peace, if you could give me permission to share my screen, please. So, and in the meantime, I'll tell you a bit about myself. So as you know, I'm Emma McRedmond. I'm a customer success consultant, coach, and mentor. Also founder of 11 Services, which is my consultancy company. Former global VP of customer success and customer support. I've got over 20 years of experience in all things customer facing and leadership. So that goes from customer support to tech support to account management and then eventually customer success, where I built out customer success teams and functions all the way from inception right through to fully functional departments, working alongside other departments such as sales, product, marketing, etc., which is very important also. Do I have permission to share now? Yes, I do. Just give me one moment. All right. I also work closely with CustomerSuccessU.org, helping them with their customer success coaching function, coaching offering, and we also do some webinars there together as well, so go over there and look out for them. And I'm very excited about the partnership between ASteven's group and CustomerSuccessU.org. I think it's a wonderfully aligned partnership. I think they're very aligned in terms of their mission, their values, and I'm very excited to see the progress and the development that that's going to bring to the African regions. I think it's a wonderful thing to do, to develop customer support and customer success in those areas. So without further ado, let me go ahead. Can you guys see my screen? Can someone just confirm they can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Lovely, thank you. So, customer support and customer success. So what is it? Customer support and customer success are absolutely vital functions to any business for them to be successful and for them to scale. So the scaling potential when your customer success and customer support functions are of a high standard are astronomical. To give you a fun fact, which won't be a surprise to some of you, hopefully, 89% of customers will stop doing business with a brand after a poor customer experience. And that's a very important statistic because, one, it's very high. That means only 11% of the customers that receive a poor service will stay with that brand or will buy from that brand again. So if we think about Dr. Sunny's example, when he went into a business and the service was poor, luckily he knows that all they need is some education and they will improve that. But not everybody will do that. Some people will just not go back to that business again. So it's an important piece of information. What I'm going to cover today, I'm going to talk to you about the differences between customer support and customer success, because while they come under the same umbrella or may be considered two sides of the same coin, they are very different approaches, and there are some significant differences to how they're carried out and the results too. I'll also talk about the importance of customer support. Then I'll talk about what is customer success. I'll do a little bit about the evolution of customer success. So where was it born and why did it grow into something so valuable for businesses? I'll do a quick case study on a company that's doing customer success very well. I'll talk to you about customer success metrics that matter. So what you should be measuring in order to ensure that your customer success strategy is designed for success. And then I'll conclude there. So the differences between customer support and customer success can be quite significant. So the first one being the mission. So the mission for customer support is very reactive. So they react to solving customer problems in the moment. So it's a very immediate reaction. Your customer comes to you with a problem, you go take ownership of that problem and you solve it. And that's that. Then customer success is a slightly different mission. So they actually are very strategic. They plan and ensure a successful customer lifetime value. So that's about nurturing the customer after the sale. So you might sell them a service. That doesn't mean you stop and then move on to the next customer. You then ensure that that customer, while they're using your service or your brand or your product, is nurtured and looked after so that they continue to feel the value of your services. The approach for customer support is very time sensitive and very reactive, like I said, whereas customer success are thinking along the long-term strategy and are very proactive. So customer success is designed to find the problem before the customer finds the problem, solve the problem before the customer solves the problem, and then present to the customer how your services and your problem solving is what helped them. Customer success metrics. So the metrics in customer support would be around number of support cases or number of support problems solved, maybe the customer satisfaction score, net promoter scores, and customer hold time, or maybe, you know, how long it took you to resolve customers' queries. And then success metrics are more around customer retention. So, you know, how many of our customers did we manage to retain in a set amount of time? The customer lifetime value, which I'll talk about in more detail later in my presentation. Product usage metrics is really important. Like, are your customers using your products, and how long are they using them for, and what's the value of that usage? Customer health as well. So in customer success, there is a metric called customer health, where you can measure how happy or healthy a customer is with your brand during the entire life cycle of their interaction with you and your brand. And of course, the success metrics in customer success are very revenue driven also. The financial responsibility. So some will say that support is a cost center because it doesn't necessarily drive new revenue. However, it is quite operationally efficient focus. So, you know, it's all about making sure that the processes are efficient and that you're saving time for you and your customers. And it's also a good retention center too, because good customer support means a customer will stay with you and you manage to retain them. Customer success financial responsibility is very revenue centered. So it's all about focusing on growth opportunities. So that means upselling, cross-selling, getting that customer to invest in more of your products, more of your services, and then also retain that relationship long term. Then the ownership. So customer support is very much owned by a single function. So customer support department is responsible for customer support department, whereas customer success has a much more holistic approach within your business. That means it's a cross-team effort. So sales, support, and product marketing as well, should all be working together to ensure that your customer's journey and customer's life cycle with your brand is of a high standard. And that gets reviewed regularly in order to ensure it's always improving. What does customer support alert to the business? It alerts the problem areas within your business. What does customer success alert to your business? It alerts you to the opportunity areas, so opportunities for growth. Jobs to be done in customer support are knowledge-based. So, you know, you'll find in most customer support departments, the customer support team usually are the team with the highest amount of knowledge of your processes, your products, your procedures, and also your customers and their behaviors and how happy they are. So there's a lot of knowledge it gets accumulated in the customer support team, so that should be cherished and it should be recorded. They also do troubleshooting if you happen to have a product that requires it, and of course they support your customers with their needs. And then success is much more customer experience focused. So they work on product adoption. So that's ensuring your customers are using your products and are appreciating them and are seeing the value of those products. And then, of course, looking out for those upsells and cross-sell opportunities while nurturing the relationship with the customer and becoming that customer's sort of trusted partner. And the organizational existence of customer support is very much from day one of the customer journey. And then the success exists in that post-sales part of the journey and in the growth stage of an organization. Support importance. So we know that customer support has got a role in retention. like we were saying at the beginning, you know, if a customer has a bad experience with your brand, the chances are they're not going to do business with your brand again. 89% of customers have said that. Customer support represents your brand. So if you're not training your customers to represent your brand to a very high standard, then you will get left behind eventually. So it's so important to invest time, money, effort into making sure your customer support team are of a high standard. It's a proven track record. The biggest companies out there in the world usually have the best customer service, you know, and that's why we stay with them. I know I stay with my my mobile phone company. I've been with them for maybe 15 years, and I have no desire to change, because when I need to contact the customer support team, they are outstanding. And to me, that's so valuable. And the approach can be kept quite simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It just needs to be consistent. It needs to be fair. It needs to be transparent, and it needs to be responsive. That's what builds trust and loyalty with customers. So a few more statistics here for you. So did you know that 78% of customers who would forgive a company's mistake if they had good customer service? So I'm sure in your lifetime as a customer yourselves, sometimes you'll find that, you know, a company does make mistakes. All companies are not perfect all of the time. However, because their customer support team dealt with that problem so efficiently, and they treated you so well, and they made you feel good about the situation, you stayed with them, right? It happens. 73% said that they would not hesitate to switch brands after a negative customer service experience. So again, similar to the previous one, that's an astonishing number. Customers who would consider another purchase after a positive customer service experience, 91%. That's a huge number. So imagine how powerful good customer service is if 90% of those people will come back to you again and again and again. And then consumers who made a purchase decision based on customer service quality, 69%. Again, all high numbers showing the importance of customer service. So getting to know, I know that Rodney actually touched on some similar points here. Getting a new customer can cost up to 5 times more than keeping an existing one. This means that it's often much cheaper to just focus on keeping your current customers happy, right? It seems like a no-brainer. Companies that focus on keeping customers rather than getting new ones are 60% more profitable. That's a fact. This shows that the clear benefits of prioritizing customer retention are, you know, tenfold. You have about 60 to 70% chance of selling to an existing buyer compared to 5 to 20% chance of selling to a new one. So simply put, loyal customers are more likely to buy again. And simply put as well is, you know, that shows you where you need to put your focus. Focus on your existing customers, and they'll buy again, and they'll tell everybody about you. So what is customer success? We've talked about customer support, and we know the importance of that. Customer success now functions and processes revolve around proactively guiding customers to achieve their goals. So with your product and service, you want them to see that your product and service is what makes them successful. And that's the strategic element of customer success. Ultimately, it leads to increased customer satisfaction and retention and advocacy, which is the ultimate goal of customer success. Now, the key processes include owning the entire post-sales customer journey and life cycle. So if you imagine you have a new customer, they've come and they've bought a service from you. Maybe it's an ongoing service. The salesperson has, you know, made the sale. They've contracted the customer. Now what happens? Now you hand that customer over to customer success. They take ownership of that customer and they start the onboarding process. That's onboarding that customer efficiently, with knowledge, with education, with nurturing. So it's holding their hand through that process. Then there's adoption, there's value realization, another important process. And that's where you are showing that customer the value of your service and your products. Proactively engaging with those clients. So that means, keeping in contact with them on a regular basis, making sure that you are providing to them what they expect you to provide, whether that be, checking in with them on a monthly basis, providing them with some reports or data based on their product usage or their service usage. It changes from customer to customer, and it changes from industry to industries. Building strong customer relationships and partnerships, that's extremely important in customer success. It's all about becoming the customer's trusted partner. So you're no longer really a service provider. You're now, you want them to see you as their trusted partner. You go into their business and you talk to their senior team members and they see you as one of them. This is what fosters loyalty. This is proven throughout the years. And then, of course, upselling and cross-selling. So that is the revenue growth that customer success is, looking for. And that's the outcome of good customer success function. So let's talk about the evolution of customer success. Where did it come from? How did it start? So as far as I know, Salesforce, if you're not familiar with Salesforce, they're a cloud-based software company, probably the biggest cloud-based software company in this space, in the customer relationship management space. So they've got an online customer relationship management software that allows businesses to have focus on their their customers. So all their customer data goes into that customer relationship management, and everything is managed from there. It almost becomes a single point of truth within a business. It's used by the sales teams, the customer service teams, the marketing teams. They all use it, and they all keep the customer data there. That data turns into analytics, turns into KPIs, turns into metrics, and that's how customer success uses it. So the CRM giant were acquiring customers at a phenomenal rate in 2005. However, they quickly realized that these customers were churning. They were leaving and they were going to other suppliers, or they were just leaving in general. And they recognized that this is because they weren't nurturing those customers in order to retain them. And it's quite significant, because what they did at that point is they started talking to those customers that were churning to find out why they were churning. And with that information, that feedback, they took action. So they were the first big tech to build the most extensive customer success department. And it was a complete success, and it's been a success ever since. So since then, other software as a service brands have started following suit. And the philosophy as took hold during this transition to sort of subscription models. So you'll have noticed yourself that many companies have now transitioned into subscription models, meaning monthly recurring revenue or annual recurring revenue, and that this model works really well for that model. Fast forward to 2025, the biggest brands have adopted customer success philosophy and are paving the way for growth. So I'm sure there's quite a few names on there that you recognize. All of these companies have fully adopted customer success philosophy and the customer success model because they see that it works, and it's working for them to this day. Quick case study here. So HubSpot is another CRM, customer relationship management software, and they've sort of come up the ranks really quickly in recent years. And the reason for it is because they have fully embraced the customer success model. So they were founded in 2006. And although they had a slow beginning, in the recent years, they've absolutely boomed since really taking on this customer success philosophy. So as you can see here, their total revenue in 2023 was 2.17 billion, and that went up to 2.63 in 2024. They've got a subscription revenue, they've got professional services, they've got all that. But why it works is because they focus on exceptional customer support, not just any customer support, exceptional customer support, and proactive success strategies that drive strong growth and high customer loyalty. This is a proven fact. If you don't know HubSpot, go and look them up, because they've got some wonderful resources as well that are all customer success related. They provide a lot of free resources online that is what attracts a lot of customers to them, right? Because those resources are very knowledgeable and they help businesses to grow. So from the beginning, with their strong emphasis on listening to customers' feedback, this is like a vital key element of any customer service or customer success function, is listening to the feedback and then using that feedback to continuously improve your product and your services. So what metrics that matter? What are the metrics that matter? What should you be measuring to understand what your customers might need? So one of the first things that come to mind in customer success is the customer health score. Like, how healthy are your customers? Are they engaging with you on a regular basis? Do you have a champion within that business that advocates for your brand? That's how you know how healthy a customer is. There's much more to it than that. It's a bit more complex than that, but you get the idea. Net promoter scores is something that is quite important to companies to understand how customers are feeling about their brand. Qualitative customer feedback. So again, if you're taking feedback from customers but you're doing nothing with it, eventually they'll stop talking to you because they won't feel listened to you. And how you make customers feel is what's really important. Monthly recurring revenue. If you happen to have that type of business, then that's going to be something you should be monitoring and measuring. Customer lifetime value, I'll get into that in a bit more detail in a moment, because that's quite an important one, and it's a very successful measurement for many of the successful businesses out there. Customer retention cost. So some people forget that actually there is a cost to retaining customers, and you should be measuring what that cost is. There's a customer effort score as well. So that's another area that you can focus on within your business, like how much effort is required to support a customer, and should there be some efficiency strategy put in place to help your business there. First contract resolution rate, customer satisfaction score, renewal rate. There's so many out there, but what's going to be important is that you're measuring the right things. And to do that, you might have to invest in the right tool. So there's many different customer relationship management tools out there. I would suggest doing research to determine which one would be best for you and your budget and the type of customers you have. And some people even build their own customer relationship management tool. It all depends on what your needs are. But I do suggest that it's invested in, because it will help your business tenfold to understand what your customers are doing, what they're feeling, also understand what stories it will be telling you in order to make your business more efficient, make your customer service higher standard, and to also ensure that your customer success is operating at a strategic level. Customer lifetime value. So I think this is one of the measurements in customer success that sometimes gets missed, So to make it simple, customer lifetime values is the average dollar or the average monetary amount of a purchase, right? Times that by the number of customer purchases per year, and then times that by the average length of the customer relationship in years, and that will give you the customer lifetime value. So if you imagine maybe you're an Amazon subscriber, you subscribe to them monthly for, I don't know, whatever the price is, let's say $10. You times that by the number of years. So if your average customer lifetime is 3 years, let's say, that's $30. And then you times that by the average length of the customer relationship. Average that by the amount of purchases. So that's 12 months in a year, that's $1,200. And then average against the customer relationship, let's say 3 years. Then you've got your number. Give an example, customer lifetime value. So how do you think customer lifetime value could be delivered? It could be delivered in retail, so loyalty programs, mobile offers maybe. In software as a service, it could be delivered in the onboarding or the usage tracking. In e-commerce, it could be auto shipping certain items or shipping those items for free. That's a great way to create that loyalty program, and so on and so on. I'm conscious of time now, so I'm sort of rushing a little bit about this. Another good example there. So I used Verizon here for the telecom company.
Okay.
Average revenue per user.
Sorry to interrupt you, Emma. Please, can we, out of courtesy, please all put our mics on mute, please. Especially if you've just joined, put your mic on mute. Sorry, apologies, Emma. Please continue. Hi, Emma. We can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Please continue.
Yeah. Average revenue per user for a Verizon customer, $50 per month. Average lifespan of a Verizon customer is approximately 7 years. So the customer lifetime value for each customer is approximately 4,200. So it's a very simple calculation. And the way they deliver it is using customer relationship management flags for their reps, retention scripting, and also Verizon are very well known for rapid delivery. That's how they do customer success. So I'm going to conclude here, but basically building a customer success strategy is a tough task. I'm not going to pretend it's easy. It requires collaboration of all company departments like sales, marketing, product, and support to ensure that each touch point with your brand is of a high standard and that it's always improving. The effectiveness of your customer success strategy is contingent upon the actions you take at different stages of the customer journey. So if you manage to make your users successful with your products, they will come back to you again and again and again and again. So if you're not investing in customer support and customer success already, now is the time to do it. And I would say start small and then scale accordingly as you grow. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. I've put my LinkedIn QR code up on the screen for you temporarily, just so in case you want to add me on LinkedIn. But please do check out CustomerSuccessU.org. Their online packages are, very, very knowledgeable. The education and the learning that you will get from those courses are, so valuable, and they really will help you to start talking the customer success language as well, because there is a whole industry out there in customer success, and I say customer success is my love language. So if you want to talk about customer success, feel free to reach out to me and we can have a talk. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. We are incredibly honored to have your insights, and especially at this critical moment of growth and expansion for African professionals, organizations, and startups and businesses. You've literally dropped really good golden nuggets. So I hope everybody had their paper and pen. I hope everybody has been writing down notes. And you've given us pretty much free understanding of the importance of customer retention and just customer service and how we can go about it. Of course, the course goes into more details of practical, in detailed, step-by-step training for teams and staffs and etc., how we could be better as companies, individuals, or even as staff ourselves that are listening in. If I can call upon Miss Dr. Adeyemi, who is our next speaker, a woman who is great, who has grace in that can't even be matched. But even if we were to match it, it's by her power. She's a vice president of Women Renewable Energy in Africa. She's a mentor and a force to be reckoned with. She's not only advancing the renewable energy sector, she's raising women into leadership, rethinking policy, and mentoring the next generation of impacting driven professions. I would like to call upon her now.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you. I'd like to say hello to everyone on this call this morning. It's morning from my own end. Thank you for joining in. While I try to also share my screen, I'd like us to share our experiences with one another with ourselves. So you just, drop your comments in the chat box. Have you ever had a good customer experience? What was it? That's number one. Drop it in the chat box. Number two, that brand, there's a particular brand that you're using from your domestic product, personal products, corporate products. Have you used a particular brand for over 5 years? Why do you keep going back? The best customer experience may not be the same experience that has made you keep, returning back to that particular product. It may have been something that you encountered on a journey in transit somewhere, something exciting, something that will make you pay money to go back. Kindly drop it in the chat. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've been introduced as Dr. Anita Adeyemi. Firstly, a mental health enthusiast. And so I understand the linkage between a satisfied customer and the need for us to focus on customers. We live in a world where competition is growing every day, and your customers have a high sense of, entitlement. After all, they are parting with money. So it's very critical for us as business owners and stakeholders. I don't want us to see customer success from the perspective, of businesses alone. In your environment where you work, in that environment, where you live, you need to satisfy the next person who is your internal customer. He may not be parting with money, but he has to be happy around you. So I like to dip, into the topic that I've been given, strategic leadership for customer-centric growth. I had to streamline it to the African perspective because we live in Africa, and our partnership, for customer success is in Africa. Let's look at some case, studies. When MTN launched mobile money in Uganda, they adopted to local needs rather than copying Western banking by recruiting village phone operators using local languages and enabling microtransactions. They created a vast, accessible financial framework. We've had businesses that come into Africa and they bring in their foreign strategies that do not fit perfectly into the terrain here. But MTN got it right from the beginning. They used the needs of the people. I'm sure they carried out, a long-term study to know what exactly the African community, the African customers, the African environment would embrace, fast. And they decided to go with the local stakeholders. They might be locals, but they are stakeholders. You need them for the growth of your business. And we're saying that Africa's consumer market is poised to hit, listen to this, $2.1 trillion by the end of 2025, with a 1.4 billion people and a diverse cultural landscape. Today, we explore how strategic customer-centered leadership tailored to Africa's complexities drives sustainable growth. Just trying to move my slides to the next. Sorry, please. So we're trying to understand our African customer, your local customer. First of all, it's good to understand that your African customers have diverse economic strengths and capabilities. Income fluctuations are common. Everywhere, you cannot expect your customer that can afford luxury items, you know, to be able to, you know, sorry, you cannot expect your customer who can't afford your luxury items to bring you luxury luxury sales. Daily wages, seasonal earnings, customers aspire to buy smartphones, but rely on sachet-sized essentials. For example, Unilever's sachets dominated Nigerian revenue. And so you need to understand the complexities where you want to bring your business into. Who are these people? What are their economic strengths? What can they afford? If you go around the African market, you'll find out that things that used to come in big packs have been reduced to sachet. Because if the person can't, let me use Naira because I'm in Nigeria. If they cannot afford a product size of 10,000 Naira, they will be able to afford a product of 100 Naira. So why don't you scale down whatever product you want to introduce into the market and scale it down according to the needs of your customer, according to their economic earnings. Now, when we go into infrastructure reality, 600 million Africans lack electricity, yet nearly 500 million have mobile phones and internet costs are high, demanding solutions for intermittent connectivity. So we want to salute M-Kopa Solar Pay As You Go, that is currently 7 million. We also have, you know, scale down solar solutions to things. I think we did that to match what we call I Better Pass My Neighbor here in Nigeria. So we have handy solar packs that you can use to power your fan and for electricity, you know, bulbs and all of that. That is understanding the terrain. And then you also have to look at trust and social capital. We say purchasing involves families and communities. Informal savings group are widespread. And then brand loyalty, like we heard the earlier speaker mention, is generational.
Okay, how you doing, sir? Thank God, though.
Sorry to interrupt. Please, can you keep your mic on mute if you're not a speaker at this point of time, please? Anita, you can continue. Anita, can you please unmute your mic?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Thank you. We can. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're looking at trust and social capital. After when I take this, I would like to see what comments have been made in the chat box. Purchasing involves families and communities. Informal savings group are widespread and brand loyalty is generational. Dangote Cement has built community ties with local leaders. Very quickly, moderator, can you help us? Let's see some of the comments that have been made. Dangote is a known brand here in Nigeria, and we've known them forever. They've been there. Are they the only cement manufacturers? Are they the only ones who produce fast-moving consumer goods? No, but it's been a known brand for ages. Do we have some comments in the chat box?
We do. We have a lot of people talking about a variety of businesses that they keep on going back to, right from
Awesome.
Hope.
Can we take just like 5?
Sure. And we have Hope, who says, I've used a particular body lotion because it works for me, which also goes back to the customer service that she would have endured, even if it's not a physical conversation that she had, but maybe just the service that it gets delivered on time. That's enough for her. We also have a few people that have said they've maintained or even improved the quality of the product over the years. That's why they stuck with that particular business service. We have a few people that have chipped in with a variety of businesses that they are connected to and keep on reusing, specifically based on good quality customer service like you and many of the speakers have described today.
Thank you so much. Now, what I keep saying here is, you know, customer psychology. Now, the people that keep going to those brands is not necessarily because they don't have better competition out there, But because that particular brand has satisfied them over time, they stuck with it. So what's your brand? What's your brand? How is it, satisfying your customers? We need to ensure that some of these strategies are kept, we keep at them. We also have cultural complexity with hundreds of ethnic groups and urban-rural divides. One-size-fits strategies fail. Coca-Cola runs 200 plus localized campaigns embracing cultures. I'd like to say something here. Over the years, we have discovered that customer satisfaction spreads like wildfire, especially when it goes by word of mouth. There are some brands that don't even advertise. How many of us bear witness to that fact? Some brands don't pay money for adverts, yet they sell like, why? Because let's go back to trust and social capital. In a family, they have eaten Indomie noodles for a long period of time. However, because that brand, I'm sorry to say, I'm not paid to do this, has dominated the market. Do you know how interesting it is that every noodle in the market is tagged Indomie? However, there are various brands, but because family 1 and family 2 and family 3 within a particular community have been used to that particular brand and they have gained satisfaction, they have tagged other brands that have emerged over time, Indomie. And so a new consumer, for instance, coming into the market will think that there's only Indomie noodles in Nigeria. However, there are several. There are several. I'm not a fan of, noodles. However, if you ask me, what are the brands in Nigeria? I only know Indomie. Why is that? And how is that? Customer satisfaction is playing out somewhere. I'm sure there are brands that taste better. I'm sure, I don't know. So now we'll look at strategic leadership principles for customer-centric growth. A couple of years ago, I heard about the word Ubuntu. I didn't know what it meant until my South African colleagues, because I was working with, in Nigeria here with some South Africans. And they said in South Africa, it means the spirit of kinsmanship. It means we're together in this. And so we're looking at that as one of the strategies we need to look at. Success through community. Safaricom's M-Pesa empowered users as agents. Nigerian breweries support 300,000 farmers. Equity Bank focuses on the unbanked. There are so many organizations, so many companies that are, adopting strategies that are working for them. I'll also want to talk about the Nigerian bottling company. I had an experience with them in, a few days. We just hosted the biggest, even if I must say so myself, the biggest Women Green Summit in Nigeria. Now, the focus of NBC was on ensuring that we have youth be part of this summit. And so they gave it as a condition. One of the conditions that we will use, to support you is if we have youths, to be part of this. And so what did we do? We were not rigid. We decided to tweak the program because yes, it meant a lot that youths are a part of this. Now, we wanted to satisfy Coca-Cola, who are our customers, and they also wanted to satisfy us, who are their customers. However, they identified the fact that the elderly people are no more taking, are not as huge on these drinks, as much as women. And then when you talk about sustainability, if green development, if the green sector must grow, if we must build resilience, if there must be sustainability, who best than the youths? We have to catch them young. And so, it goes both ways. Whatever you're doing, study the terrain, study the environment, and go for the people you think will drive growth in that sector. We're also looking at adaptive innovation. Let's look at a problem-first approach. Flutterwave enables 34 currencies across the world. It's huge what Flutterwave is achieving across the world and indeed across Africa. They have, made a lot of impact as far as payments for goods and services are concerned. We're looking at Andela that invests in African tech. We're looking at several brands that are making waves. So let's also look at cultural intelligence. We already dealt with it, up there. But we said we have to respect diversity. Let's look at Technomobile that has adapted phones for African skin tones. Nollywood tells authentic stories. Chicken Republic localizes menus. You find some, brands that will tell you that, okay, this is what we are known for, or a business owner telling you that this is what we want to do. No, you have to put into consideration the needs of your customer, your target audience, your target market. What are their needs? What do they want? What will appeal to them? And then inclusive growth is very, very important. We want to look at how Lapo, I know most of us know Lapo, that has dominated the market, the micro lending, market. Lapo is serving millions across, I think they're in Nigeria. I don't know if they've expanded to, other parts of Africa, but they are really, really, really doing huge businesses. We also look at M-Copa that powers off-grid houses, housing solutions. So what are the implementation strategies that work? We said one of them is the truth-first approach. You have to leverage local networks with community champions. MTN's 500,000 plus agents build trust organically using local language and transparent pricing. And I think uniformity in their pricing is also very critical. So if I go to Borno State, whatever MTN's agents are selling, or the prices they are offering in Bauchi State is the same I will meet in Taraba, in other parts, of Nigeria. And then we also look at the distribution innovation, reach customers where they live and work. Coca-Cola's access remote zones. Procter & Gamble demonstrates products. And then Sterling Bank operates inside marketplaces. I like to talk about the rich customers, reaching customers where they are, where they live, where they work. It's driving the numbers crazy. Gone are the days where you have your armchair marketing. You sit in your office and you wait for the customers to come to you. If you wait, you're going to wait forever, because currently we have diverse delivery mechanisms. I think one of the sectors that has received a boost recently is they call them delivery guys, especially here in Abuja. The delivery sector is booming fast because there are, platforms everywhere. People are buying and selling on a minute by minute basis. So you don't wait anymore. Let me go back to the NBC and the experience we had with them. Now, they were sponsoring our event with some products. Moving the products was becoming a little bit of a headache. But you know what they said? Don't worry, we'll bring the products to you. And that is exactly what they did. They brought the products to our venue. So we need a little bit of flexibility when it comes to, customer-centric growth. If you must grow, your focus should be on customer satisfaction. We had a lot, of that coming from, I think, Ima, the previous speaker. And then we're going to look at product localization beyond translation. I love this. We're told that Netflix invests $175 million in Nigerian content. Guinness offers 0 alcohol for Muslim consumers. Jumia digitizes haggling to fit local buying habits. Yes, you can actually do that. And then data-driven personalization at scale. We have to use transactional data sensitivity. Safaricom's Fulizia of overdraft from M-Pesa history. Trade deposits, personalized offerings, respecting consumer privacy. So let's look at real-world success stories. We're back to Dangote, kings of, I think Dangote, I can easily term them as kings of fast-moving consumer products in Nigeria, or maybe Africa. I think they have also, entered into some African markets. They transitioned from trading to manufacturing, sourcing locally products, products, and then rural infrastructure, becoming Africa's largest cement producer. And then they are also making strides in the oil and gas sector. Bokumat, I'm sure some of us have heard about Bokumat. The retail model with price points similar to going to the markets. And it's one of the fastest growing markets in Nigeria currently. And then they're taking the stress off you. And then Access Bank has built ecosystems through green bonds and women micro lending, growing from Nigeria into 13 countries with digital and physical integration. And then we also look at how Andela has transformed brain drain into opportunity via intensive training and remote global work, developing over 175,000 developers. So there's a call to action. We'll look at 3 imperatives. The first one is we have to redefine success metrics. Ima has given us a few of them, but like we said, you need to localize, the metrics to suit your environment, the terrain where you are doing business. Whatever Ima has offered are just guidelines. You now need to tweak them to suit your immediate environment. So you don't begin to say, but Ima said it. Ima's environment is different from whatever is obtainable in the northern part of Nigeria. Whatever is obtainable in the northern part of Nigeria is different from whatever is, obtainable in Southwest. Cultural differences, we need to put all of that into consideration. So we say we have to measure, measure lives improved, community strength, and inclusion beyond profit. Then when we look at building authentic partnerships, like the credible one we're establishing with CustomerSuccessU, we have to build authentic partnerships, collaborate deeply with communities, informal sectors, and local innovators. Very, very important. We need to invest in deep understanding. So we have to reprioritize, because we may have prioritized, but we have to reprioritize ethnographic research, local leadership, and patient capital. It's worthy to note that Africa will add 500 million consumers in 5 years who demand respect. Please note that. Respect for culture and authentic solutions. So the choice is clear. Customer-centered leadership is not optional, it is essential. At this point, I'd like to thank you for listening, and I'd like us to look at the key takeaways for customer-centric growth. Let me pause here and see if there are more comments, More comments? Madam Moderator, do we have more comments? Can we take 3 more?
A lot of people has been listening and taking notes, and I just want to say thank you so much, Dr.
Okay.
Adeyemi, for all the information that you've given us.
Okay, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So the key takeaways from this customer-centric growth is know your customer, navigate income volatility, infrastructure limits, and community influences, and then lead with Ubuntu. Drive collective success through shared value and community focus. Innovate authenticity, root solutions firmly in African context and realities. And then you have to build trust first. Partner with existing networks, embracing cultural systems. Think ecosystem. Products succeed when supported by integrated systems. Measure differently, track impact beyond profits, inclusion beyond volumes. And then stay patient, commit to long-term growth in complex, fast-changing markets. Remember, growth happens with communities, not for them. Growth happens with communities, not for them. So you don't say, oh, my growth will happen for them. No, it happens with them. You need to make sure that whatever business you have brought into that community will bring growth to them. They'll be happy. They'll be satisfied. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the information that you've given us. And like you said, you made a very clear point about a lot of businesses that are not even they don't even have a budget to invest in getting new clients. They base their expansion on referrals, and that's because they've able to master customer retention and able to master the longevity of knowing how to make sure that their staff is enlightened enough to give good customer service. And that's the core of business. There's no point starting a business or having a business or even being a staff if we cannot service the customers, because the customers generate for the business and the business will not exist without the customers. It's like there's no way around it. So I'm sure that we all understand today the importance of us learning, being trained, and investing in making sure that we master this aspect, because that will give us longevity as staff members, as entrepreneurs, as business owners. We are heavily against time. I would love to keep on talking myself, but we do have our last fifth speaker, which is Miss Blessing. And Ms. Blessing is a Vice President of Programs at an Organization of Women for International Trade, International President of OWIT Nigeria. She's a re-owned trained facilitator, international speaker and market development strategist for over 20 years experience across Africa, Europe, North America, and Middle East. I can go on and on and on about how amazing this lady is, but I know we're against time. So I would like to open the floor to our last speaker. And I know we're all enjoying this and I hope you're all taking notes. This is recorded so we can always listen back. I would just like to make that. And please feel comfortable to write in the comment section any questions you may have, because our speakers are very open to answer any questions. And don't forget that there is an in more depth course that will teach us in more detail, step by step, and train our staffs and train ourselves as to how we can move forward in developing this conversation better, but most importantly, have a greater impact in our businesses. So I'd like to open the floor for Blessing, please. Blessing.
Thank you. Good morning, moderator, and good morning to every other speakers who have spoken before me. And I really want to thank Dr. Akpoyibo for bringing this to the African continent as at this time, because customer success is very, very essential to the growth of business with the opening of the AfCFTA, which is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And every other region in Africa too have their own free trade regional bloc with customer success is the most. So without wasting much of your time, I would just like to open my slide, and it's with a thought, like I will always say wherever I go, that Africa does not lack talents, neither do they lack product. African has a lot of talent, call it an emerging talent, call it the talent that has already been developed. We don't lack talent. The same thing with product. We don't lack product. We have various kinds of products, ranging from the raw materials to the amazing manufactured products manufactured by young men, women, and the entire people of Africa. But what do we lack? We lack the system to help SME retain customers, to help to grow, to sustainably, and to trade confidently. This is my opening thoughts for today's presentation. I want to say that this presentation is not about unlocking, this presentation is about unlocking skills and cross-border opportunity for African SMEs by integrating a powerful business model. And what is that business model? It is the customer success platform into the African economic development infrastructure, because we often talk about infrastructure, but we can't talk about infrastructure if we don't have a good customer success tradition within our ecosystem that will help support the SMEs for them to expand and to trade amongst themselves. My slide 2 just talks about the current state of the SMEs in Africa. SMEs, as we all know, are the bedrock of African economy. Yes, they might be in the nano space, in the micro, and in the small space, but don't forget that they constitute over 80% of business, and they employ millions and millions of people, particularly women and youth. However, despite the size and significance, most they operate informally or without structure. Why do I say informally? Most of the time, these businesses are not registered. These businesses are one man. So these businesses does not have the real structure to really operate and expand. But if we all start to push at country level and at the continental level for customer success to be embedded and for it to be a must, because I'm not just saying it should be embodied, it should be a must that every businesses in Africa, if they want to grow and expand beyond where they are, customer success platform has to be integrated into their businesses. Because how can you trade from Nigeria to South Africa where you don't have a customer success tradition at the back of your mind? That means your business is already a failure from the start, and that we don't want that to happen with the offtake of the AFCFTA. Africa is a population of 1.4 billion people and is still expanding. And from the AFCFTA, we have been told that we're looking at about $450 billion in terms of trading activities across Africa. And every average SME wants to tap into this rich opportunity. But we need to make sure that customer success is what is embedded. Please, can you go back to slide 2? We want to make sure that customer success is embedded. We have often here SMEs struggling with retention, poor product follow through, and little repeat business. What do I mean when I say customer manufacturers are struggling with retention and poor products and follow up? I've had series of experience with with manufacturers, like Doctor has mentioned, that even the said MTN is even having the same problem, because when you call their customer service, their approach, the way they answer you, it is not good enough. And I have oftentimes even made some correction on the MTN platform to correct how their customer services talk to people. And the same thing I do for small business, because I'm not just a president, a vice president, or a CEO. I'm also an entrepreneur, which knows that for me to retain customer, that I need to put structures in place of having customer support and the customer service in place. When I talk about the poor product follow through, these days, you will agree with me that manufacturing has shifted from solely producing goods to privatize customers' need and satisfaction. It is now a customer-centric. You have to look at what the customer needs. So the post product follow-up is that you need to get feedback from your customers and know how they felt about that goods and know where to create improvements. The SMEs are often failing because of poor product, because of lack of operational system, scalable customer relationship, and structured support to enter new markets. The core problem is not just finance, because if you go to every webinars, you attend webinars and you go for every meeting, what we put at the forefront is access to finance. But yes, access to finance is part, but the customer success and customer support is a major issue right now. From what we are seeing, you might have the finance, and if you don't have a good customer support, you will still sunk that money and you'll come back to square one. It is the absence of strategy and structure for sustainable growth. Slide 3, please. Like I just said, we have to introduce customer service now that it has to expand into the Africa. The customer success platform, which is led by the customer success, is the global proven business system, which has been spoken about. But I just want to tell our SMEs who are here, because I know a lot of them signed up, friends from across Africa signed up for this thing. It will be a tool to onboard and retain, support and grow businesses. It is a structure to make SME export ready and investor attractive. What do I mean by SME export ready? I'm an expert when it comes to international trade. If you don't have a good customer support system and a good customer feedback, your products might not be good enough to enter into the other market. You might feel your product is doing well here in Nigeria, but take that same product to Kenya, take that same product to South Africa. That product might not do well because, one, you've not embedded customer service, you've not been getting feedback, so you've not been improving. And also the customer success will support your investor attraction. How does this support investment attraction? Because your growth is moving. And then when you are applying for funding or you are pitching, they look at the reviews of what people love about your product, how people love your company, how people want you to expand to this different African country. So somebody who has fun will be willing to invest in that kind of business. Please go to the next slide. Like I said, customer success will become an African trade enabler. Please move. Can we come to the next slide? While we wait for success, I will just talk. Why does this expansion matter for African trade agenda? The African trade agenda, please, can you take it to the next slide? The African Trade Agenda Framework, AfCFTA, ECOWAS, and COMACI are opening doors, but are SMEs ready? I have mentioned it, that the AfCFTA gives you opportunity to a population of consumers that is 1.4 billion people, and you have a whooping sum of amount to tap from, 450 billion. So the AfCFTA framework is opening such door. The ECOWAS trade liberation is opening such door. The COMACI, they're opening such doors. But what I'm asking is, our SMEs, are they ready? When do you have no structure onboarding or follow-up, no data tracking or referral, no SOP for export relationship? These are some of the things that you must have, that you must have. Customer service expansion fills this gap. I'm still in slide 4. Thank you. Customer service will fill this gap. Training SMEs in system thinking, because I've gone through the platform, it will trade the SMEs in system thinking. It will build repeatable customer experience, which will position SMEs as trusted global trade partner, because you cannot do business globally without you being trusted and tested as a global trade partner. Slide 5. What will be the benefit of this platform to African SMEs? It will improve customer retainership. When you go through the courses that will be available online, like Dr. Akpoyibo and the founder has told us, they've made it very cheap, and they've made it how do I put this now? They've made it for African, so that you can attend these courses and you can understand it. It will repeat purchase and loyalty. Because you need customers' loyalty, it will boost your business. Export relationship management, confidence managing global clients. You have referral, driven market expansion. Once people refer you, you have this driven market expansion, which is word of mouth growth. Yes, we know that you need to run ads. Ads are good, emails are good, but word of mouth growth is very essential. To say, I was in a program, I'm into the garments and apparel sector. So I was in a program in Ghana, and the former she trade lead in Kenya was in Ghana, and we're discussing about this cross-border trade and others. She made mention and told them, he said, even what I'm wearing now, I bought from the president of OIT. I love rocking her African ready-to-wear. They are so comfortable, and it works for me as an official wear. That is a very good word of mouth referrals for a business who wants to grow. It will increase investors and donor readiness, because we always say that banks don't want to invest in us. People don't want to invest in us. There are donors agency that are supporting small business to scale. So this will also support your the donor readiness for your business. Strong business, it will build you a strong business case. It will build confidence to compete regionally. Mastering trade language and how the system works. Please, the next slide. Under AfCFTA, which is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, SMEs must move from hustle to structure. What are the requirements? Product consistency. The current gap is inconsistency delivery, because if you send a product today, for those of you that manufacture consumable goods, if you send a product today and I love the product and I ask you to send product tomorrow, and then the tastes are different, there is going to be an issue. So there should be product consistency. The customer success solution will be the SOP for fulfillment and quality. Market retention is a requirement. What is the current gap? You have a week follow-up. If you have a client in, let's assume in Kenya, South Africa, that has picked your product, you need to have a post-sale CS system, which is a customer service system, to find out how did the customer find that goods. Is there something you need to make the goods better and to make the goods adaptable to their own culture and the way their people over there like it? Because we all have different culture, different religion, and different eating habits. So what is good for me might not be what is good for Mr. A from South Africa. So these are some of the things you need to start looking. You have to look at the trade scalability. The current gap is that a lot of companies don't have a customer data of their customers and the clients. So the customer success solution is to have a dashboard and a journey map of where you are today and where you want to, where you are scaling and your journey so far. Customer success is not just a tech, it is economic transformation. The next slide, please. Potential impact across Africa. Ghana, fashion, retain our buyers, because we are going to be competing in the same market. We're going to be selling the same thing. Kenya, the agribusiness, you have to look at post-sales system for supermarkets and individual clients. Senegal, tech, onboard and retain B2B users, which is business to business users. Nigeria, the beauty industry in Nigeria, which is the beauty sector in Nigeria and the wellness, is growing rapidly, and we are really pushing the boundary in terms of that. But you have to track customers' health, because we've seen some of these beauty products that customers use and they have reaction. What they do, they go to Facebook, and that is damaging. You don't let it get to that extent before you need to put structures in place. Expand into diaspora market, because yes, a lot of persons are tired of really using chemicals on their skin. They need something else. So Nigeria is setting the pace for Africa when it comes to beauty products, using all the different kinds of natural products that we have domiciled here in Nigeria. Slide 8, we'll talk about what stakeholders can do to support the expansion. Government and trade ministry, we all will advocate so that customer success is integrated into SME development. Link customer success to export readiness certification, because we have a lot of certification. We have to collect our certificate from Nigerian Export Promotion Council and other certification. I am advocating, because this is my space, export expansion. I'm advocating, and I'm going to take this up with my team so that we can have customer success to be linked into export readiness certification. Business association should promote customer success trainings to members. Prepare them for trade missions with customer success, because a lot of people go to trade missions. What are trade missions? Trade missions are supposed to be missions where you go to explore business opportunities of the other countries and tell them what you have in your country. So you cannot go to promote some things like that when you don't have customer success embedded in you and how you present your country and what you have. Donor and development partners, they should fund customer success scholarship, use customer success metrics for impact. It is very necessary for an SME. Corporate and supply chain, help suppliers adopt customer success for reliability. Please, the next slide. What does scale look? How will scale work? Let's scale what works. From and to. Let's move from transactional sale to structural relationship. Let's move from isolated SMEs to scalable trade cluster. Look, let's move from local only sales to cross-border partnership, because there is an adage in Nigeria that when you want to walk fast, you can walk alone. But when you want to walk far, you must walk together. And for us to walk together, we must move from where we are to the next place using the customer success expansion. It will prepare the African private sector for trade-led transformation. 5 million SMEs could become globally competitive within the next 5 years. If we work together, we will walk far. My slide 10, which is the final one, for African SMEs to thrive in trade, they need system, not just sales. The expansion of customer success into Africa will give us the structure we've been missing. This is from me, Blessing Irabor. Let's champion this model, support its adaptation, and lead SMEs into a future of profitability, scaling, and global relevance. We want African to be relevant. We want to put African in the last. African is the next place to be. And the opportunities for the African SMEs is very, very wide. I hear people say the sky is the limit. For me, the sky is just the starting point. Let's embed the customer success and expand our business into different parts of Africa. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Miss Blessing. You've indulged us in so much information. And I agree with you that the sky is not the limit. It's actually just the beginning. And I pray and I hope and I know that this event is more than just an event. It's actually just the beginning of a starting of a new enlightenment in which loads of African companies can benefit from and indulge in. I want to thank all the speakers. I know we're against time, but Mr. Rodney for building not just a door where there was once a wall, but Dr. Sonny for being Africa's blueprint for visionary leadership, Dr. Adeyemi for leading brilliance and lifting others as you rise, Miss Emma for showing us how global best practice belong in Africa hands, and of course Miss and Madam Blessing just now for reminding us that Africa's future is global. I can't thank all the speakers enough for taking their valuable time out to indulge in such discussions that will only be the beginning and starting of a new future for Africa, where we will now I would hope adopt after today a new practice which would enable us to understand that customer service is something that we need to have in the forefront of our mind. It's something that we need to take on in training our staffs. And if we're staffs ourselves, is to be trained in order for the better of being a good employee or just being a good entrepreneur or business as whole. We all have a part to play in society, and business is the forefront of everything, and if we don't have good customer service, we actually don't have anything. So I hope that we all take this opportunity to thank all our amazing speakers that have taken time out, but also to go out of our way to make sure that this is just the starting. Let us take steps, indulge ourselves in the courses, indulge ourselves in the training, make sure that it does not end here, and we take steps moving forwards to make sure that we are better business owners, better employees, and a better Africa overall. I want to thank everybody for participating today, all the speakers and everybody that took their time to listen, because they know that everything that we've heard today is valuable and will make movements into the future of Africa for a better future. I want to thank everybody today again and just thank all of our speakers. I will hand it over to the visionary Rodney and as well as Dr. Sonny for both of the partnership of creating such an amazing opportunity like today. Thank you for even allowing me to moderate, and I appreciate everybody.
And thank you all. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Sonny to close this out. But from the staff here at CustomerSuccessU, incredibly grateful for this opportunity. We look forward to a lot of work that we have set before us, but we're very excited about it. So, Dr. Sonny?
Thank you, wonderful viewers, attendees, attenders from all over the world, from Africa, all over Europe, that have created time to make a difference. The adage that I always say, Africa doesn't lack talent or products. What a wonderful speech. But what we lack is system and customer structure. And that is true. I learned this today from this webinar. That is my takeaway. Africa does not lack talents, nor products. But what we lack is system and customer structure. I believe every one of you will believe also with that speaker. What do we do next? Don't look for money. Look for the problem, and money will follow. Now we understand why are we not making money in our business. Africa did not start at the right space when God said, let there be light. The Western world started with that space in creating access to energy, because without energy, development will not grow. But Africa started looking for money. And when they realized they can't get money without energy, they came back, start providing, looking for solutions to provide energy, because we were looking for money. I'm happy everybody that is here today, my takeaway and what you should take home with, don't look for money. Look for the problem. Provide solution, money will follow. What is the problem? We have identified. Let me speak to myself. What I have identified in my business is lack of customer support, lack of customer success, and it has led to poor retention and poor retainership of clients. For learning very well that, according to Emma, if I improve my customer success, my customer services, I will spend less money in running the organization. Rather, I will increase customer retainership because I have understood the problem. Instead of spending money on products and the products are waiting in the warehouse, I rather spend more money to develop my customer services, customer retainership, and customer loyalty. I can see billions of dollars how companies were growing year after year because they focus on customer services. Right here, I want to say thank you to everybody that is here today. Let's believe everybody is here today is the beginning of a small journey that will scale to a very big success. Let all of us be partners in this journey. And good enough, we have provisions for partners, country partners, industrial partners, group team partners. Because what we are doing right here is a shared prosperity. Shared prosperity. For every step we take, we need you as partner. For all of you that has registered, you'll be the first to receive the launch. And even before the launch, we'll send you a platform to log in to have the first successful training. Like I said, the beginning certification, the foundation is free. You might be okay with the foundation and have a certificate. Beautiful. You might want to continue. We'll get in touch with you and give you a special subsidized code that will enable you, allow you complete the training, because they said charity begins at home. Learn it, go through it, and see how successful it will be to run your business, even to be a partner, to earn residual income. I was only more excited in this platform when I see that people can be financially independent. People can have financial freedom by earning money when you're on holiday. What about putting effort in a product and you can start going on holidays? You can start having time for your children. You can start having time for your loved ones. You can start having time for yourself, going to gym, and you continue earning money. That was one of the takeaways that made me develop more higher interest, because I can create financial independence for a lot of people. For one job they do once, they keep on earning money for the rest of their life. Once again, thank you for attending this webinar. I know some people have questions to ask. I'll allow the moderator to please give us 5 minutes for those that have questions to ask. But if not, send your questions to us. We're going to reply you. The time is fast spent. I will not take a lot of time, but some maybe let me say 3 questions that we can throw more light on. But however, we're going to contact you. Ms. Peace Oguche, the Executive Director, African Region, will automatically send email to everybody that have logged in on how to access the platform for the first training. And I will appeal that every one of us to go for the training. The good news is that the foundation, you don't need to pay for it. And there are also special discounts if we are aware that you are logging in. Thank you. I'll hand over to the moderators. I have some hands that are up. 3 questions and we can take a leave. And I say everyone should have a happy weekend. Thank you.
Doctor, can I quickly say something before the moderator comes up?
Please, President, bless it.
With us on this webinar is our rep from Zimbabwe, which is the OWIT Zimbabwe president. Can you just quickly acknowledge her if she can say hello? She will be our rep for Zimbabwe.
Wonderful. The OWIT president Zimbabwe, you are highly welcome. I think I met you in Egypt. We're also looking towards the OWIT president in Ghana, the OWIT president in South Africa. I know President Blessing, you are bringing all of them into this wonderful customer service, customer success innovation. So please, just a word from the OWIT president in Zimbabwe.
Good day, everyone. My name is Osli Bushlebenko-Sinyati. I'm the OWIT president of Zimbabwe. It's been a pleasure being part and parcel of this powerful, well-prepared webinar. I must say it's been very insightful, and I cannot wait for it to spread through Zimbabwe as together we foster effective, profitable international trade to motion our beautiful Africa forward. And together we can. Thank you very much.
So as you can imagine, everybody, it doesn't just end here. It's actually just the beginning. So please, I would advise to take the course, earn the certificate, and join the movement. It shouldn't stop here. I'm sure are all enlightened of the importance and impact that this seminar has created. And even if it's just opening our minds to understanding the detailing of what customer service has over businesses, and important us being trained and reimbursed in this specific industry to make sure that we are able to succeed in our businesses, grow, expand, but most importantly, maintain and retain our customers, which means business growth overall, which is the essence of business, is to grow as a community, to grow in profits, and to just keep on growing impactfully in the world and in society. So we can understand how important today has been, and most importantly, understand that it cannot stop here. Let us get involved in the courses, let us get the certificate, but even further, indulge ourselves heavily to make sure that we are successful, and we have a fantastic team that are more competent, as you can imagine, as we've heard snippets of today, that would assist us on that journey. Let us not stop here, let us continue. So thank you to everybody for your patience and your time, and I know we've gone over time, but it's a time well spent, we could all say. So thank you once again, and I want to say thank you to all the speakers, and thank you to all the fantastic participants that has stayed and know the importance of today. That's why they took the time to listen. Don't let it stop at just listening. Take the next step, get involved, and let this journey continue. Thank you once again, and everybody have a good afternoon or evening, depending where everybody is, because I know I saw somebody all the way from New Zealand, and I'm here in London. So it's amazing to have that community of different people internationally come together for the same purpose. Thanks once again, and I hope it doesn't stop here and we continue.